Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is March 30th, 2026. And I'd like to talk today about the dependence on self. Jesus gave us the 11th commandment, which is to love your neighbor as yourself. Love everyone as yourself. But before you can do that, you first have to love yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what it meant. So it all starts with the self and it ends with the self. And the guidance for this lifetime, I've learned, has come from within me, myself. To look elsewhere just chews up a little extra time, I've found out. The most important element, the most important thing we can do for mankind is to love ourselves. Because we have to love ourselves in order to know how to love someone else. And it is love that is the quality of light, and light is everything. Everything is made from light, which is the energy of existence, God, if you will. I don't understand that yet, but I know about energy. And when I get to the point to where I understand, then I will be looking eyeball to eyeball with God. Until then, I can't really say who he or what it is, because I'm working on identifying the qualities in myself that make up the wholeness of a person. And as I understand it, there's 144,000 different elements. And each experience provides an opportunity to learn a little bit more about ourselves. And I think that's really the only reason we're here. Because when we fully understand ourselves, we'll be finished with this stage of growth anyway. And how many more stages of growth there are, I don't know, and I don't need to know until I get to the next stage. So I don't concern myself with that. And I don't concern myself too much with the past. I'm pretty much focused on what's happening now. And I appreciate each opportunity to learn a little bit more about myself, and that describes every experience. The most value each of us can give to mankind is to relish each experience, which gives us more of an idea of who we are, and therefore everything we say and do will have a positive effect on everyone else. And it is what I give to everyone else that is the boost for mankind. And as each person gives what they have to give and what they understand, then that's going to aid the rest of us. It is dependence. I grew up in religion, and it was taught to be dependent on something outside yourself. And all this time later, 70 years or so later than when I was growing up in church, I'm beginning to understand more about what it's about. I'm beginning to understand more of who I am and why I am here. And I do understand, I didn't always, but I do understand now that before I got into this physical body this time, I made a choice of what I would do this lifetime, what I would accomplish. And I am approaching that now. I am fully into this project. And it took me a good while to admit it and to get to where I was ready to get into this. And what I'm doing at this year, basically, is I'm downloading what it is that I need to approach my fourth major life cycle of 28 years. And I've got planned 5 altogether, which is 140 years. I'm downloading what it is that I need, and I'm fascinated by what's coming to me. And a part of what's coming to me is that I'm learning how to have the things that I really need, people, places, and things, the things that I need that will aid me in getting where I want to go, or to give what it is that I want to give. And it's all about giving. Or it is for me anyway, because I have diabetes, and the cause for diabetes is holding back on giving. So I've put a lot of attention into giving, and I'm making a difference now. I'm not completely off the insulin for being diabetic, but I'm making improvement. I'm losing weight, which will help. But the main thing is that I am open to receive what I need. And I'm open to give what I can in every situation. And it's hard not to think in terms of money but I'm thinking of it in terms of many other things. And I've had come to me recently in the past few months something that fulfills me in a way that I've been looking into and wanting for quite a while. And it came in an unexpected way, but no less valuable. No less valuable. Jesus said it pretty clearly. To learn to depend on yourself is what he was teaching. You may have read the words, depend on me, but you're coming up short if you think he was talking about himself. Because me is the result of your experience. So is grace, and so is mercy. We go through experience, we glean the understanding about ourselves from that experience, and we're richer for it. So when I've gone through an experience and I can identify a part of me from that experience, I can say, okay, that's me. That's what Jesus was talking about. He was not talking about himself. So I encourage you to look within to begin to see the truth through your own experience, which I've discovered is the only way. I can hear something, I can read something, and all that may make sense, but I don't know it until I experience it. And my own soul, I've found out, is my guide, my internal guide to experience what I need in order to understand. My soul sets it up for me. But it's my responsibility to pay attention and ask the right questions, or ask the clear questions. Not necessarily the right or wrong, but the question in my mind. I know from experience that my soul creates or guides me to an experience to allow me to a way to understand a part of myself this way. That's the way it works. And so to me, it's not, it does not behoove me to waste a lot of time in other areas. Like if you get together with a group of people and what do you think, what do you think, what do you think? You get a bunch of different opinions. What I value most is, tell me something from your experience. What have you experienced that showed you some truth? That's what matters to me. So I don't want to spend time arguing over this and that, the other. And since I mentioned that, I've mentioned this before, but I'll do so again. And when you heard the words or read the words in the Bible that man can't live on bread alone. Bread means knowledge, and it means a basic knowledge, crucial knowledge. Can't live on bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Now, God's word means breath. And each breath is not talking about this breath. It's talking about the breath that comes in through the mouth of God, the medulla oblongata. Every bit of energy that we take in, which is the breath, every bit of energy that we take in, we're responsible for using that. That's where our attention needs to be. And if we're distracted into other things, we slow that process down. And at 82 years old, I am firmly entrenched in completing what I came here to do this lifetime. And doing these talks is a part of it. And I enjoy doing these talks and look forward to it. I do one a week. And so far, this will be number 100 for that'll go up on We're Available Media and finally on to YouTube on this channel. So this is the talk number 100. And let me just say that 1 means individuality. And the 0 represents the understanding that comes from experience. So when you see 2 zeros at a time, like 100, this is very meaningful because it means that I have a more full understanding of my own individuality. And this is what I'm talking about here. And you're listening to talk number 100. And when I first started doing these talks, I didn't know how many I would do or how long. I know I'm not finished yet. And I keep thinking of things I want to talk about. So, and so this is me by sharing what I have come to understand through my experience. This may aid someone else who is at a pivotal point in their own growth to where hearing what I'm saying may be what they need to hear. But I don't advertise this. I tell people about it all the time. But the person that needs to hear this, their own soul will connect them with this talk. That's the way it works. I know this. So I'm not, once I do the talk and put it on Facebook and YouTube, I don't give it much thought, except if if I'm talking to somebody like at the YMCA in the steam room or the whirlpool or the sauna, there's not much time to talk, so I can, if we're talking about something they seem to be curious about or want to know more about, I'll just suggest that they go hear the talk that I did on this, because I spent some time elaborating on this one subject. And so they've got the choice to hear it or not. And I don't know if they do or not. But I'm not in the business of being concerned about that. My business is to give. To give. And how somebody receives it, I'm not attached to that. I learned this at the School of Metaphysics, to give, but do not be attached to how it's received. Because how it will be received is an individual thing. And we're all individuals. No two people think alike. So when I hear somebody else talk, I'm getting another perspective. When they hear me talk, they may be hearing another perspective. And it may be the little piece that they need at this point. I don't know. I enjoy doing these talks, I know that. And there are people who listen to me on a regular basis. I don't know how many, and that's not important. And I will suggest a talk when it's appropriate. For instance, if somebody's talking politics, I may suggest that they listen to my talk on U.S. means us, as in we are running the country, and I explained that during the talk. And another one that I suggest often is a talk I did on getting old is a choice. Because when people make a comment that I don't look as old as I say that I am, then I'll tell them there's a reason for that. And I talk about this, and I may say you can listen to it if you like. And I would like for everybody to understand what I understand. But now this is an individual thing. Each person, one person cannot compare themselves with me or anyone else, because each person is on their own trajectory, their own path. And if you listen to my talk on the question, I focus on how to get the most out of your own soul, helping you along your path by asking critical questions. The question is everything. Finding an answer to that question is next most important. And the third most important thing is next question. So this is all a person needs to know. If they will use that, it will serve them, and they may begin to discover, as I have, it wasn't an original idea. I found out a lot of the stuff, or most of it, through the School of Metaphysics, and that's where I found the School of Metaphysics by asking a key question and listening within for the answer. And the School of Metaphysics is what showed up and showed me everything I needed to know. Everything. I followed what Jesus said to do. He said, ask. But I knew from previous lifetimes, I didn't know it then, but I know now. From previous lifetimes, I knew already to ask within rather than somewhere else. Even though I didn't remember how I knew at that point, I've got a much better idea now. We've been here for a long time. We've been here many, many times. This is not the first go around for anybody. Anybody. Everybody has a history. Let me encourage you, if you've not already, to begin to rely on your own soul as a guide, because your soul will not lie to you. It's not in that business. In fact, your soul will quite simply tell you, if you want it, you got it. So pay attention to what you say you want. Be serious about it. Your own soul will guide you. But your own soul will not lie to you. It will not say, hey, Winston, this is not good for you, or that is good. It don't do that. It just says you want it, you got it. And so our decisions are made consciously or unconsciously. Think about that. Your decisions are made consciously or unconsciously. I remember my teacher, Nancy Hayek, said that her main goal is to make every action she takes be a choice rather than habitual. So pay attention to your choices. It is your choices that wind up shaping your life the way that it is. And once you begin to understand that, you can begin to redirect your attention into a more productive way. Oh, I could probably say a lot more. But just remember that you are on your own path, and you decided, even if you don't remember, you decided before you started this lifetime how you would approach that. And each time we have to wake up and realize what we've done. So memory has a use. And using reasoning is a combination of memory, imagination, and attention. Think about that, and you'll come up with your own details. I'm Winston Cunningham, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.